Welcome inside our ESPN College Basketball Studios. I'm Andy Katz along with Miles Simon. Kentucky, once again, has to go into an extra period, this time twice against Texas A&M after going into overtime against Ole Miss. They're skating on thin ice here, Miles. What are some problems that maybe have emerged, even though they're winning, with Kentucky?
Well, right now, especially with Kentucky teams like Ole Miss, Texas A&M playing a lot of zone defenses, trying to force Kentucky to be a jump shooting team, packing in those zones. They shot 28 threes today, about 43% of their shots from behind the arc. They didn't pound the ball inside. Texas A&M really attacked this Kentucky defense. They outscored Kentucky 38-14 points in the paint. And I think also trying to find the right lineups and the right mix of guys to play in crunch time and who's going to end up being the go-to guy for the Wildcats this year.
There's been so much chatter about them potentially running the table. After the game, John Calipari tweeted, "Relax," essentially, to the basketball nation of Kentucky. What do you think of the way Cal has sort of handled the post here after this game with Texas A&M?
Oh, I don't necessarily love it. The things that he said. He's saying his team has hit a proverbial wall already. This is only 2 games into conference play. They played 15 games on the year. They were platooning, kind of splitting time. So I don't see the mental or physical fatigue that should be playing a factor yet for this Wildcat team.
The game of the day, certainly the finish of the day, was Louisville at North Carolina. North Carolina comes back with a Marcus Page game winner. Wasn't able to convert against Notre Dame. Look, after the game, Louisville head coach Rick Pitino essentially gave all the credit to North Carolina. Wasn't down on his team because they almost won this game at Chapel Hill. What did we learn about North Carolina?
Well, North Carolina showed maybe their first sense of toughness that they've arguably showed all season long. Marcus Page hurts himself in the second half, comes back, hits some big shots, including the game winner. They dominated on the offensive glass, something that's been a staple for this team all season long. A lot of credit goes to Louisville. Rozier, Jones, both played huge once again for the Cardinals. Couldn't pull off the win. But I think Carolina has to use this as a building block game, being down 13 against a Louisville team that's a Final Four and obviously like ACC contender.
Virginia goes into South Bend, knocks off Notre Dame. This is a Virginia team that plays consistent home or road. Earlier this season, they won at VCU. They won at Maryland, even though Maryland was depleted at the time. What did you continue to learn about Virginia?
You continue to learn that Virginia is a team that plays with a great sense of self-confidence. They're the defending league and conference tournament champions. The defense is going to be there every night. They held Notre Dame at home, a team that is the best offensive team in the country, field goal percentage-wise. They score over 80 points per game, hold them to 34% from the field, and they shut down Jerian Grant, holding him to just 6 points. The defense was locked down tonight. Tremendous road win for Tony Bennett and his squad.
All right, a couple of quick hitters before we wrap up from Saturday. Texas, what's wrong with them? They lose to Oklahoma State. They earlier lost to Oklahoma in the week.
Well, the biggest thing I see with Texas is that they really have trouble scoring the ball. Jonathan Holmes, their leading scorer, goes 0 for 10 from the field today. It seems like they're still trying to integrate Isaiah Taylor back into the lineup there. So they've really had a mixed bag. The defense hasn't been as phenomenal as it was early in the season when they were beating up on some non-conference opponents. But they have a ways to go to get. They got to do it quickly.
Staying in the Big 12, Iowa State survives at West Virginia. What does that kind of road win do for the Cyclones?
Well, it's huge. Anytime in this league, in the Big 12, a league that's probably going to come down to a single game to decide the conference champion, a road win like that, Iowa State, we know they'll probably go 8-1 or 9-0 at home, and if they can go 5-4 or 6-3 on the road, that goes a long way to trying to win that title outright and to go into West Virginia, a team that has been playing tremendous basketball. And Iowa State have been struggling on the offensive end as of late. Great win for Hoiberg.
Let's go out west real quickly here. A little shout out to Ernie Kent. Comes back to the Pac-12 at Washington State. They won at Cal. Now they win at their rival at Washington. What does that loss, though, do to the Pac-12, not just for the Huskies?
Well, I think it really hurts the league overall. The Huskies were a team, as of going into league play, you were counting on being an NCAA tournament team. They got swept in the Bay Area schools by Cal and Stanford. Now you lose to your in-state rival, Washington State, a team that's picked to finish last or second to last in the league. The Huskies got to find some answers and real quickly because the league slate's not going to get any easier.
In the Big East, Villanova takes down DePaul. They had been 3-0. Sterling Gibbs with a game winner to beat Creighton. They're really struggling without Doug McDermott this season. And before we go, Old Dominion gets into the top 25, but then they have to go on the road at Western Kentucky. What are the chances that the Monarchs stay in the top 25 with a road loss in Conference USA? It's a road game.
0 is the chance that they were number 25. They are dropping down.
All right, that'll wrap up our look at Saturday in college basketball. For Miles Simon, I'm Andy Katz. Keep it right here on ESPN.com.